back at it. I love that you start already smiling. Higher frequency, the reasoning family, Lizzy Jeff, the 8th episode, 8 infinite. I feel like that's a powerful number. So of course you're here.
Thank you.
And so, we start with the ginger shots.
Okay.
I'm opening it right in front of you. I get it. I get it.
You funny.
I love you. And so ginger shots from Divine Nectar. And then we have Exotica's juices. Exoticas. Exoticas. Okay? Because we say exotica is like the exotic. And Kaz means house. And exactly. And so exotic
Small
house.
Wooden house.
Small wooden house. Which is pretty much. And I introduced you to his juice bar. You loved it so much that I wanted to surprise you. I wanted to surprise you.
That is very extremely.
Not only have the juices, because usually I just have the juices, but I know you like to be served.
Thank you, Island Boy.
Yes. So we start with the ginger shots and, cheers to you. Love, strength. I love you. Thank you for saying yes. You could have been anywhere.
Right.
But you said yes
to
Fab C. So give thanks.
Thanks. Gratitude.
Being better with the faces. So we enhance with shots. Ginger shots. Yes. I didn't think you were going to drink the whole thing.
Why not?
I'm happy you did.
I love ginger.
Yes, you do.
I always
we hear it in your music.
Heavy on the ginger. I got you.
So Divine Nectar was the ginger shots. Love her. Exotica's juice bar. We're about to sip on because I need to take some of this in.
It's spicy. It's delicious. My womb is rejoicing.
And so specifically, I know you like to be served in glasses. Recycled straws. I mean, not recycled, but eco-friendly straws. Recycled would be weird. Eco-friendly straws. And so thank you.
That's delicious. Wow.
Thank you, Exoticas.
That's delicious.
We're there all the time. I found him a couple months ago, and I was like, Lizzy Jeff is going to love this. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not saying it because you're here. I'm not saying it because you're here. The day I walked in, I said, you were going to love this space. And I mean,
amazing.
The confirmation was even more grand than I even imagined because you go there. I think you go there more than me because I go there a lot. I think the whole time you've been here in Miami, you've been popping up. So it's only right to call him.
Thank you. It's good. I can taste the apple.
Say it, girl. Say it.
I can taste. Let me see what else.
Keep
it's
going.
very detoxifying.
Tell me.
And refreshing. It's the perfect way to wind down a very productive week. It's Thursday, so it's kind of like the prelude to the weekend.
I'm feeling it.
So this is the perfect thing to drink. It's money green. And Thursdays are ruled by Jupiter, which is the planet of many things, but especially what? Finances and that bag.
Yep.
Abundance. Deals, plays.
Yes, talk it, speak it.
So shout out to
Thank you.
Exoticas.
Thank you. And so, this is the reasoning. So we're reasoning, we're flowing. And the moment you said abundance, I was like, yes, because that was one of the things that I wanted to make sure I spoke about with you, because you carry the power of abundance like no other, my love. Again, I always say this when my guests come in, because I'm like, I'm not saying it because you're here and you're in my face. Like, I'm telling you exactly what happens to me when I see you, when you come around, when I listen to your music. I'm going to seal up the abundance part real quick because I want to start at the beginning.
Okay.
But the abundance part, every time you come around me, I get upgraded abundantly every time.
Wow.
Like that. And I realized it, I want to say in Third is the Charm, I think part 3 of us hanging out. I was like, yo, every time Lizzy comes, the value goes up naturally, and it feels good and it feels right, and it's fearless at the same time, because it's just a little bit of sprinkle of you where I'm like, yeah, no, this is the value. And so I'm reaping the energy, you know, because why I recognize it. I've absorbed that and still give homage to you. And that's important, because that's what it is. And so even giving more homage to you, I was listening to her before I even knew we were going to be friends. I know you know the story, but the people don't know the story. Sax don't even know the story. When I text him and I told him that you were going to be here, he texted me back, congratulations. That's what he texted me back.
Shout out to Sax.
He knows what's up. But you were on replay. Let's start from the beginning. Mother of Many, she's been a sponsor of us.
Mother of Many.
She's sponsored Higher Frequency before.
I just randomly thought about her like 2 days ago and text her.
Yes.
But I don't know if it's the same, if it's her number. So maybe next time you talk to her, tell her I said,
Of course.
Yeah,
she tagged me on one of your songs, and it was at the time that it was just a 15-second, and I was like, who is that? And she instantly sent your stuff to me, and she sent me Goddess Code. Goddess Code is the hit.
Right, it is.
A lot of them are hits because I know them all. I'm not exaggerating, for real. I know them all.
That song actually just surpassed 10 million streams worldwide.
Amazing. I believe you.
And the music video is dropping in March for Women's Month, to close out Women's Month. Finally, stay tuned.
You're about that women empowerment. No, listen, it flows, because Goddess Code was what inspired me. And I was like, who is this that is speaking this conscious, you know, expressing the love for women and enhancing who we are in a powerful time? Because it was 2020.
Okay.
It was 2020 when I heard of you.
Okay.
During COVID, during riots, riots, you know, in these times, like
so much.
Everything happening with, And so this is when I was listening to your music. Yo, for real.
Whoa, that's deep.
We would walk in, Siri, put on Lizzy Jeff radio. I know you heard the story, but
I like
you're
a great storyteller, Fab.
This is real talk. And I was like, I gotta find this girl. I gotta find out and fly her in. This is how I was talking. I was like, I gotta fly her in for Higher Frequency. Higher Frequency was still going on as an event. And we just naturally found each other. I think you should, this is when your story comes in of how you found me.
Right. How did I find you? It might have been a mutual friend.
Yes, it was.
Oh, and he said, oh, Fab is the Lizzy of Miami. And it's so funny because I would be like, But I had no hesitation or reservation when he said it, because I was like, dang, I could see why he said that. I mean, we're both our own people, and we're all both unique.
We're reflections.
But immediately I was like, oh, she's a vibe. She's the plug. She's on her journey.
Yeah.
She's really in the community. She really is curating space for the community, like in a luxurious way, but it's very accessible.
Yes.
And you're very passionate about what you do. You're passionate about the community. You're passionate about plants, you feel me, and music. And so I'm like, I rock with her. It was an immediate connection and mutual respect and admiration for sure. And the rest was everything else.
Everything's been flowing, because the confirmation when you told me that was just a confirmation, because when I heard your music, I was like, this is me. This is me. like everything that you were saying, the things that you were talking about, just you being a hustler, having different streams of income and just manifesting like
Right.
who we are, what we are, having fun doing what we love. You know what I mean? Like just, and then you
Right,
did the
having
guided
fun.
meditation, and I was doing the guided
Right,
meditation a
right.
lot. And I was just like, who is this? Like that is just flowing like this. You have a song called Drip. And I just envision myself like in all these different earth stones, and you know what I mean? Usually like, you know, in mainstream, drip would be like diamonds and dripping and this, but then I heard your song and I'm like, yo, we could be dripping in stones and just earth and like, you know, flowers and roses as you flow. And that's how I felt when I heard Drip. I hadn't seen you yet.
Wow.
I only heard your music. I didn't find you. I didn't see you visually. I didn't know what you look like or anything. I was just listening to your music.
Wow.
And then when I found your Instagram, I was like, wow, what a stallion. What a beautiful, strong woman that I get it. I get the reflection. So I want to talk about Goddess Code for a little bit because
that was so beautiful. I'm going to drink some of this refreshingly recharging delectable elixir that we got from Exoticas.
I love you. Every time he left us some so we could pour some.
That was sweet. Is that, which one is that? Is that the Hardin?
One of your favorites. I told him to make sure it's what you like.
Thank you.
And he knows what you like.
He does.
He definitely knows what you like. So it wasn't hard. And he said yes right away. He said yes right away.
Thank you.
And like I said, it could have been just me picking up the juices, but you know, he came. So I appreciate that. And so, yeah, I wanted to talk about Goddess Code for a minute because Goddess Code was such an inspiration to so many women. And, you know, I asked you one time what inspired you to write that song. And did you know that it was going to blow up the way it blew up?
You did ask me that.
Yeah.
What inspired me to write that song? Well, that song is part of an EP, a 5-song EP that I did called West Coast Enchanted, produced by Miles M. Davis. And in creating that project, because I knew I wanted to do a 5-song EP, it was the last song we kind of worked on. And Drip had already come out, you know, on that, like as far as Drip was on the set list, on the playlist. Us was on the playlist and a few other songs. But Goddess Code, I told the producer, I want something like real sexy, something that feels like R&B, but it's still hip hop, but it's like real mystical.
Wow.
Something I can like flow over.
That is that.
So he just went and did his thing. Wow. I didn't really tell him what key or what tempo or, you know, what instruments. I mean, I do love the keys. I love piano. Right. And he was going crazy on the piano at the end during the affirmations. And so when he sent it back, I did like the beat, but I guess I had writer's block. That was actually the last time I ever experienced writer's block. Like writing that song helped me like eternally cure that mental block that I had.
Right.
And I remember I'm like, yo, why do you have writer's block? Why are you stuck? This is the vibe. Like, you do this. You feel me? And so I was like, I just took a deep breath and I was like, well, what's my intention? You know, how do I want people to feel? And I was like, I want women especially to like feel good, to feel seen.
Yep.
I want women who are on this type of vibe, this type of wave, to just have a soundtrack for their lifestyle. And I was like, honestly, I'm from LA. And you know, I know the hoods is pretty in LA, but the hood is still hooding every day, no matter how pretty it is. And growing up, it was a lot of things that I learned in the streets. It was a lot of things that I learned from the OGs. It was a lot of things that I learned from seeing, like, not just the older men in the community, but even women that I was inspired by. And I love listening, you know, the hip hop. And a lot of the hip hop music that I was listening to, it was always like the male's perspective of the hood. It was always the male's perspective of the streets, of the code, of the G code. And so, you know, Juvie had this song called The G Code. And I mean, we love that song, you know. He was just giving us the game. And I'm like, well, shit, I need a G code for the girls,
Yes.
for the women, but something that's like, you know,
So when you said you need the G code, did you know that it was going to be goddess code?
Yeah.
You knew the G was going to be goddess?
I believe so. I
Okay,
think
okay.
it kind of came all at once.
I love that.
But I can't call it the G code, you know what I mean? Because that's already Juvenile's thing, and I respect him for all the inspiration. But I was like, okay, let me, you know, do something for the ladies, but that the men could listen to as well.
Wow.
And so I was like, in order for me to channel that type of energy, I really need to channel the energy of my grandmother, my great-grandmother, Nina Simone, you feel me? Maya Angelou, like just who was my girl that owned the first Black-owned newspaper, and she was speaking out against the atrocities of Ida B. Wells. You know, like she was a journalist, and she was speaking out.
Yeah, she was.
And they was fucking with her, or you know, but she kept going.
I love that you're mentioning them.
She kept riding. So I'm like, all right, let me channel, you know, Queen Afua. Like I read Sacred Woman, that book, like that journey, and was a big inspiration for writing Goddess Code, you know, like just activating, like realizing this beautiful world exists, like within our culture, within our lineage, you know, Kemetic, you know, spirituality and just holistic lifestyle and wellness. I've been vegan since I was 5 years old. I didn't always call it vegan, but I just was like, I'm off that meat. I'm not really trying to do the milk and cheese. So I was kind of already on a journey. So when I started discovering this holistic lifestyle, it was like exciting for me. And I'm like, I gotta tell somebody, you know, but I'm still like on my hood shit too, because it's me, it's duality. We're multidimensional. I could be on the block one day and I could be at the mountaintop with the white girls doing yoga another day if I wanted to.
I say the same thing.
But I'm just saying, you know, and so, or I could be on some sexy, you know, energy as Zen and Kush with my vixens. Or I'm in the streets with the people in some sweats and some sneakers. You know, it's like I'm multidimensional. So I wanted to create something for the women to like embrace all of that. You don't just have to be corporate. You don't have to just be a dancer. Da 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 da. And so I prayed. I sat there. I meditated. I channeled the energy, and it literally flowed out of me so effortlessly.
So effortlessly, because that is the inspiration. Like, no, for real. Because, you know, you finally came to a class. I've been telling you how I do my classes, the songs that I play. Goddess Code, again, no exaggeration, family. Goddess Code, people have come up to me crying. Where did you get this song? Who sings this song? I have had people come up to me and ask me if Beautiful Prayer is me. And I love that because we're reflections of each other, you know? And I'm like, no, that's my friend Lizzy, but that's amazing that you felt like that was me.
It does sound like you, though.
I feel that. Definitely it was an inspiration because
her voice, that's Paula, by the way. She goes by the name Paula Santo.
Excuse me, Beautiful Meditation.
Oh, Beautiful
Meditation. There's a difference, family. Beautiful Meditation and Beautiful
like
Prayer.
Her.
No, I mean Beautiful Meditation.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Beautiful Meditation
like
I'm talking
girl.
about.
But okay, Beautiful Meditation.
Yeah.
That, and I love that one. I see people really like it. It's like, I think 12-minute meditation.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, well, all the yoga girls and the da-da-das and the da-da-da-da, everybody needs something to chill and vibe and relax to. So one night I was in the studio and I told my producer, let's make a meditation beat. He was like, well, what you want to do? I was like, well, let's add this. And what does this sound like? And so we just made it right there.
Wow.
And then I went in the studio and I just freestyled for like 12 minutes. And I was getting some resistance because, he was like, meditation, da-da-da. It wasn't something he had done before. But I'm like, nah, let's just work through it. Let's tune it to, 532.
Wow.
And it was like 5 minutes at first, but then I'm like, nah, let me just spit, like just loop it. And
I always wondered if that's how the story went. So you just confirmed, because when I listened to it, I wondered if it was like a free flow. Yeah, but do you know the words now? Because I know the words.
I don't.
I know the words.
My freestyles, for some reason, they're more challenging to remember, like Aquarius Rise.
I know, and I love Aquarius Rise. So I know the words more than you know the words, even though it's your song.
You do.
Because I know
and I listen to it every day. And so there's pockets where I could be like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I manifested curriculum, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. For my growth, I am da-da-da-da. But it's so many songs.
Right,
it's so much to remember.
Interesting.
And if I write it, it's different. My mind can retain the information differently. But Venus and Virgo, I eventually, people request certain songs. So certain songs, I'm like, okay, let me put this in the set list to perform, or when I'm DJing. So I can learn it easily, but because that song is like 12 minutes long, I would have to really sit with it for real. Plus, it's like,
or you have to let it ride every time.
When do I perform that? Like, a beautiful, it's a meditation. Unless it was me and you was on the sound bowls.
Which can happen.
You know what I mean? And maybe Jen Rose is on the flute, and then we do a live version of it. But even in the live version, I would still freestyle most of it.
Of course. Of course. I love expansion. I want to just go into these conversations of your songs because I noticed that it just it's so in depth with story telling and your lifestyle and who you are. Expansion, I love. I've been playing that a lot. But Nipsey Blues. And then I started going deeper into who you are because remember, I was listening to your music first. I had no idea that we were going to be friends like this. I thought I was just going to book you. You know what I mean? But
now,
I know.
Making our way downtown. Drinking juice.
Reflecting each other.
Eating acai bowls with the almond butter. Da-na-na-na-na-na. And the hemp seeds. Da-na-na-na-na-na. With the pineapples, but no strawberries.
So, hold on, I'm going to talk about that real quick because my acai bowls are so specific. He comes out with Mario Exoticas. He comes out with my acai bowl, and you're like, I get it the same way, and I'm like, impossible, because I'm psycho about how I have my stuff done. So I'm like, you put pineapple in yours? And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, no strawberries?
Nope.
Like, no. I'm like, you added hemp seeds? Like,
yep.
And I'm like, wild. We are reflections of each other.
I love that for us.
Much. I love
Thanks
that for us.
Thanks to you
too.
for manifesting it. And
Definitely.
You know what my homegirl Ronnie always says? She's one of the vixens, the LA vixens. Shout out to Ronnie, aka Mother of the Earth. You would love her so much. She one of the realest and most trillest. But she always tells the story of how she first heard Goddess Code. She was in traffic and she's like, yo, I heard this song. And I looked around and I was like, what is this? I had to pull over and listen to it. And she was just so like dramatic about it, but like passionate. And she was like, but Lizzy, this is what it meant to me. I had to pull over. She said it was like, is she talking to me? She said it felt like a summons. And now it's like, she's here, like, as you know, and she's the first official intern for Zen and Kush Records. And so she reminds me that it was like the music was a calling. So for whoever was like intercepting it from that particular frequency, a lot of the women that are, you know, core women in my life, you know, many of them were called through the music. So it's almost as if I always say you manifested me, but perhaps the music being a call, you know, it was like what better friend
right.
than you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, I love that. And I felt that too, because summons, I was holding my tongue, because when you said summons, as she said summons, I'm like, that's the word. Because when I heard it the first time, I was like, what? Whoa, who is this person? What's happening? And this is what life is supposed to be. This is how music is supposed to be heard. And so you inspired me, because I was like, no, you're making conscious music a thing. I really, really want to give you that crown in regards to that, because like conscious music is a cool thing now. We have Londrell out now, you know, and you guys are cool. And so definitely the inspiration.
Shout out to Londrell.
Londrell, amazing.
Yeah, shout out to Londrell.
I love the body song that you loving on my
guy
body.
right there.
I love that.
Loving on your body.
I love that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And so you remind me of like a new version of how Talib Kweli did it. And so, because I'm impressed with the way he did it, and he maintained and still lives abundantly, and I see you like that. Like, you live like a star, you know? And so who's supposed to know you is supposed to know you, because everything that you talk about in your music is inspiration. So Summons, Goddess Code is a summons that makes sense, because we came from that song.
You came from, yes.
Yep, we did come from that song. Think about all the women.
I think about it. I'm so thankful. You, Yasmin, who makes like all my most beautiful robes and scarves. Deja, you know, in Fort Lauderdale, over that way. She's a doula, a yoga, medicine goddess who holds space for me. Herbs, positivity, groundedness. You know, I think about that. The Vixens, Princess, Empress, you know, and the list goes on. And I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful just for these powerful women who, you know, it's like, that's what I needed. You know, because I really be putting that work in. Although I do like to be at the spa, and I like to go to Pilates, and now I like Luggery.
I love that.
You feel me? And sunbathing topless at the beach, and just smoking on my good kush, sipping some delicious herbal elixir. I still be out here kicking doors in, and I need women warrior goddesses that's ready to F some shit up with me. And so, but also know how to make it look good. You know what I mean? And so I feel very blessed and thankful just to have attracted these women. And shout out to Nisha Nice and Candy. Those are my girls in Atlanta. They make dope music too, but we working on some stuff.
So you definitely know how to pick them. The collaborations are always so beautiful. The collaborations are always so beautiful. Beautiful prayer that I mistaken for the meditation, because which is genius, that you say beautiful meditation and beautiful prayer, because what
and beautiful breasts.
Oh yes, that's right.
And a beautiful life.
Yes. But calling it a beautiful prayer is that song, that prayer, that chant.
It's powerful.
Very.
I was in the studio making that song, making that album, Prophecies of a Rap Priestess, Volume 1. And I said, I want something that feels like, I don't know, ancestor coming through, goddess energy.
What that feels like.
And I'm like, who do I know that can embody that? Palo Santo and Mother Divinity.
Magical.
They pulled up to the studio, and you know what, I'm lying. Before they pulled up to the studio to work on, I don't really remember the whole logistics of it, because it was many years ago, but I remember they was both in the studio, and I'm like, wow, this is the song, and I want y'all to do y'all thing. So this is the energy that I want to like embody. But Paula, I've sat in ceremony like with her. I've heard her command so many women in a group in deep prayer. You know, it's some homegirls, they tuned in, and you can't. It's like they talk to God in a different type of way, and that's her. And also Mother Divinity, she has this beautiful, sweet voice. So that's her like on the background vocals. bringing that
Oh my
softness,
gosh.
feminine. And then you got Paula representing another side of femininity, you know, power, spirituality,
Wow.
divinity. And if you listen to the song, you'll hear like I'm only in the song for 1 second at the very end because they did so good in the booth when they came out. I started laughing and clapping like, oh my God, that was amazing. So at the very end, the last second, you hear some women laughing and clapping. That's me. Just like, wow, that was, oh my goodness. I was blown away.
Blown away.
After she said that prayer. And so that I was kind of on my DJ Khaled, like that night, like just curating the artist on the song, but it was on a Zen and Kush Records project. And everybody,
I'm breathing deep, but because I'm just paying attention to the energy that I feel when I hear that song, and it is that vibration. You did a great job putting that together. That makes sense. You see, when you said DJ Khaled, I completely understood it right away the moment you said it because of the collaborations and
putting it together. They ate good. I remember we ordered some organic vegan cuisine, some juices. We had all the snacks.
I love that.
They was eating good that studio session. And I'm only saying that because it's really important, like how you have here, the vibe, how you create, how you curate space for other people. So that day I had a lot of dope artists pulling up. It was actually one of my birthday sessions because I like to just be in the studio all day on my birthday or the day before, the day after, around that time. And just have my brothers pull up, make some music with me, my homegirls, the Vixens. All day, I just have different time slots, people pulling up and we making music. So that was part of that, you know.
You definitely know how to curate a vibe.
Thank you.
You always do a great job curating the vibe along with, you know, just everything you are. Because you bring out roses. You know, I was able to bring a red rose for you. I know you love that, and I love that you're holding it. And I said it when they placed it. I was like, she's probably gonna pick it up.
Thank you. Thank y'all. I love it.
I noticed that because going back to the Queen vibration, Lauren London, because I know, and I talked about Nipsey Blues, the song that you have, and Lauren London shouted you out, you know, and I put the 2 and 2 together also with your connection with Nipsey Blues. I heard it from the grapevine. I never really heard it from you, but I heard that you were one of his artists. I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah, I heard it like before I knew you.
Deep. No, I wasn't one of his artists.
Okay.
We never worked together.
Wow.
Not once. We had a lot of mutual friends, many mutual friends. It was always 1 degree of separation with him. And he was very active in the community. My oldest brother, he attended a lot of town hall meetings. So he would see Nip there a lot and tell me about some of the things he would share. My youngest brother, he looked like Nip to me, like to this day. But he loved Nip. He was the one, like if you from Crenshaw and Slauson, you know Nip. You know what he, like you see the impact he was making in the community. But like I think my youngest brother, Tommy Fresh, like his love for Nip like made me love him even more. Cause every time I would link with Tom, he always telling me about something Nip is doing at the school with the crypto, with like everything. So it made me love him more, you know. And whenever I was doing community things, oftentimes Nip would be there. He would pull up. He had, you know, his crew or whatever. And he did have that energy, like, you know, like as if Jesus walked in. I believe you. Like he carried that, and he was very tall, handsome, but he had that aura. The kids loved him, the gangsters loved him, the women loved him, the elders loved him. He just had that energy. But we never got to connect. And him and I had a mutual friend, a young lady who I met through my youngest brother. She worked at his store. And I would pull up sometimes on Sunday just to like, you know, because Sunday I would drive around my old neighborhood and just like reminisce about my kid days, my hood days, my grandmother. You know, I would just roll down Crenshaw sometimes, pass by the Marathon store. Sometimes I'll pop out, go buy some socks or t-shirt or whatever, go say hi to my homegirl who worked there. And then one day she was like, well, you know, Nip gonna be here on Saturday if you come back. And I'm like, what? Because I was telling her I want to give him a copy of my mixtape. And so,
Which was on a CD.
yeah.
Okay.
And so I went back Saturday. I put it together a little, you know, gift pack for him. And he was having an event. He did pull up. As soon as he got there, everybody running towards him. Like, it just, the whole energy changed at the Marathon store. And I had like bought something, but he went straight to the back. Like, and you know how when guys walk in, they'll have the security. It's like, you can't, it's like, went straight to the back. So I waited a little bit, I'm waiting.
Right.
Everybody like in the store, it's a vibe. I'm by myself. I didn't really know anybody except for my homegirl that worked there, but I'm just like, I'm going to talk to Nip. I'm going to give him my mixtape. And she was like, girl, I'm sorry. Like, he's still in the bag. I'm like, it's all good. She was like, I'll give this to him if you want. I was like, nah, I really want to give it to him so I could tell him what it is and introduce myself, you know. And she was like, okay, bet, you know. So I waited it out a little bit. But then she was like, I don't think he coming out. I'll give it to him. And I was like, So I left the bag with her. Right. I told her, I explained, you know, what was in there. She's like, I got you. But dang, I don't know like what happened, because it wasn't even maybe a month later.
Wow.
You know, that tragic day happened. And what's crazy is that day, because that was a Sunday, I'm pretty sure that was a Sunday. It was in my plans to go to the Marathon store that day. But at the last minute, as soon as I get my car, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to roll up over there another day. I'm going to go to the Fairfax Flea Market, which is like a dope flea market they have on Sundays in LA. So I went to the flea market. Get to the flea market, I'm walking in, and I overhear somebody say, hey, you heard Nip got shot? And I heard it, but I was like, Nip got shot. But you know, I guess it didn't hit for me right away.
Right.
And so I kept walking, and then somebody else said something. And then I looked it up, and I saw it. But at first, the first report, I don't think it had said, I think it just said he got shot.
Right.
And I don't know what happened, but it felt like a dark cloud came over LA. Like the sun hasn't even hit the same since then. But I remember that Sunday, and I was walking back to my car, like trying to hurry. I don't know where I was hurrying to cry. I don't know, but dang, that really had me fucked up. But Nipsey Blues, it just poured out of me. Like, I was in the car, even in the song I say, like, in the car crying, smoking. Yeah. Because that was just what poured out of me. And it was just like about him. I didn't think, oh, this is going to be a song, I'm going to put it out. It was just some poetry I wrote just to help soothe my heart through that moment once, you know, I had confirmed. And so it wasn't until months later, I was in a studio session in New Orleans working with this producer, Rap Bomb. He played that beat. And the beat it just touched my heart so deep. And the first thing I thought about was Nipsey. And I was like, oh, that poem. So I was like, let me get in the studio. He was like, you already got something? Got in the booth and just kind of of course I added stuff and made it a song, but for the most part, that was how I channeled that. Wow. Nipsey Blues, but that's one of my favorite songs.
And again, before I met you and I heard that song, the first thing I thought was how clever the title was. Because of that's his color, right? Representing. So
Thank you very for acknowledging that.
I did. I thought it was so clever that you call it that.
Thank you.
And in the strength of all of that, you know, it's the blues. You know what I mean? Like, you're sad about this. I would have never thought this was your story. I thought you would have been like, yeah, that was my homie and Lauren London, because she shouted you out. So I was just thinking, of course she shouted you out. You guys were all friends. You know, that's what I thought.
I never.
So it was an organic shout out.
And you speak about Lauren London. The package that I had curated was something for both of them.
Oh, wow.
That's why I wanted to like hand it to them and let them know. Because I was working in the beauty industry, like in a beauty space where I had access to like very clean, organic, plant-based luxury products, you know, and many of the things was Black owned. So I had curated a little something, you know, a little something for both of them, including my mixtape. And so that was the bag that I handed to my homegirl. So I don't know. I never got to talk to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And later down, a few years later, Lauren and I connected, and I put a little care package together for her, and she really loved it.
I love that.
And I planted seeds with her to collaborate in the future, whenever it's aligned, you know. But I just appreciate her when she went on Michael Beckley's
She said Lizzy Jeff strong.
Yeah, she said
it's strong. So that means
and
it's
a lot
like,
of people are like, oh my God, Lauren London and Lizzy. And I'm like,
I could see it.
Thank you.
I could see it.
That felt really good.
Yeah.
So
the way you were saying that he gave that energy of like Jesus, because he reminded me of the energy of His Imperial Majesty. And the story goes with His Imperial Majesty is that he was the most photographed king in the world. He was the most photographed. And so when I was already channeling that in, because I know they say he's from Eritrea, nevertheless, Eritrea became their own in 1991, 93-ish in that area. So that means he really is Ethiopian. I always say that to be clear, because Ethiopia and Eritrea is like all together. And then they decided to go on their own in the 90s. So if you think about when he was born, it was still Ethiopia. So he's Ethiopian. That's how I always look at it. That's
powerful. And he has such a connection to that land.
I know.
Too. And his mom.
Yes.
My mom, they're both from the same place. Wow. Like, we had a lot of similarities. He was really close with his grandmother. He was only like, and we grew up within blocks from each other, but never.
Wow. I definitely see his energy. I would have never thought that was the story. I thought that was the homie for you.
We just been in the same place a lot of times.
His energy in you.
And I feel like because we have so many, like some of my closest friends was close friends with him.
Makes sense.
So I feel like it's possible my name did come up, you know, and a lot of people was like, oh, you gotta.
Of course.
I just never got to it, girl.
I hear you.
Never got to it.
Well, when he passed, I knew of him through Lauren London, but didn't know the works that he was doing. But when he passed, I just started noticing pictures. Just everybody had a picture with him. And I instantly, once again, thought about the story of His Imperial Majesty of being the most photographed. Because I'm like, whoa, I didn't know who he was like that. But all of a sudden, he's just here. And so thank you for sharing that part, because I was always intrigued by just the vibration of that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for asking. And it's so interesting. In a lot of places that I've gone, even like out of the country, the first thing people will say, oh, you the female Nip.
I see that.
I've heard it so many times. It's an honor.
It is.
And I appreciate that. That's why I'm so consistent and devoted, and just like I really learned a lot from him while he was living, and even through his legacy, you know, even in how Lauren is being supported,
right.
Even as he, you know, exists in this other realm, like,
right.
He prolific,
yeah, which is you, because you know the reflection of you being a female Nip is not just the music. It's everything that you stand for, everything that he was doing, the speaking up, you know, for the youth, speaking up for women, speaking up for, you know, the one that aren't acknowledged, empowering people at the same time, empowering the
putting
youth,
people in
putting people in
position.
position, but knowing your history, because
Right.
we have a lot of conversations and you know the history, you know the background, you know what you're speaking about, you're very articulate, you know what's up. And knowing
Thank
what's
you.
up, when you speak of this, you put it into your music, but you speak it, and you speak it out loud and strong and clear, you know, no matter what faces can be around that can, you know, feel away. You say what's up, because your biggest thing is reparations, which I love.
Not the biggest, y'all. It's just,
it's
at the bottom of my top. You feel me? It's at the bottom of my top
I
list.
like that you say that.
Because I don't really, it's ultimately, I just like it because it makes sense. And what else would white people do if they wasn't an active participant in the culture of reparations?
A moment of silence.
So for me, it's like, if I know, okay, I said Goddess Code is doing 10 million plus streams. Okay. That 10 million people around the world, that's a lot of people. That's a lot. Let's just say 1 million of those people. I don't know. I'm just throwing numbers out. But if I know that many people are listening to my music, yes, of course, I'm a woman. Yes, of course, I like to get a ratchet with my homegirls, shaking ass, drinking coconut water, throwing rose petals in the sky in a hemp lace bra. Of course, we love that. But also, you know, it's deeper than just shaking ass and entertaining people. Let's talk about some real stuff. Let's talk about it. Look at what they doing, especially here in Florida with Black History. Look what they doing with the certain programs that was created just to give Black people a small little slither of a little opportunity to catch up, to replenish what was taken and stolen. All of that, they getting rid of all of that. And so that's why I say we can't lean on an institution to repair, to restore, to replenish what they've taken or what's been done. It's about the real people in the real community. I'm not at the politic buildings. I'm here in the streets with the people. City to city, we with the people. So if the people gonna be showing up, if the people say that, call themselves allies, all right, prove it. And you don't just prove it one time. You don't just prove it by putting a black square on your IG. You prove it by truly incorporating, acknowledging first, doing your own personal work around your ancestral, you know, healing that you got to do, and then showing up every single day, like in service to reparations.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle. You don't have to be on the front line with a poster, but it's about how you show up. It's about the conversations you have with your family, especially the elders in your family during the holiday season, especially. It's about the decisions that you make, and it's about the things that you're implementing into the ethos of your foundation. It's about you being intentional and actively going out of your way to put Black people specifically, not just POC, but Black people, Indigenous people specifically in positions of power. It's about all of that. It's about how you run your business. It's about the neighborhood that your business is in. It's about how you pouring back into that neighborhood. It's about how you at school representing and advocating. It's about how you calling your Karen ass auntie out if she's, you know, perpetrating. It's about all of that. And so
you've inspired me to acknowledge that even more, because, you know, I know this, and, you know, but the way you are a call to action, or, you know, straight action, because you're an activist. One of her lines. You know, you inspired me to send emails. I sent some emails out, and I was like, listen, you write in the corner, of different projects around you.
Uh-huh.
What are you doing for the people? Are you giving food back? This
Mm.
amazing alkaline food that is right here by the train tracks, and you're abundant. But over here is the hood. Over here is the projects. What are you doing? You know, you inspired me to write emails. So the response wasn't all that great, but at the same time, the response was, you know, we tried. Nobody wants to come and support and help, or when they did try to give away food or whatever the case is, people weren't coming, whatever. So I said, okay, we'll talk about it. We'll speak some more. I'm not calling out the
You don't have to,
but, you know.
But that, because it's so universal.
Yeah, it's happening.
You don't got to say no names because it's universal.
Yep.
And that's why I be calling upon my white girls. Like, if y'all gonna be listening to my music and trying to talk like me and my home girls and shake ass like me and my home girls and pop your neck and do whatever you think you doing like me and my home girls, if y'all gonna be doing that, then I also need you emailing these people.
Yep.
I also need, you know, I was in a part of an organization for many years. And there were some internal issues that I noticed that with small shifts and changes, could truly impact the Black woman's experience within the space. For years, I gave them genius ideas and shared my thoughts. Nothing ever. Until I told all my white girls in the space, and they wasn't having it. And all those white women, you know what they did? Emailed the director. Yep. You know? And so I'm like, yeah, because people listen to white women. And this ain't even about white women. I'm just saying, like, this is just
times right now
a part of it.
Yep,
and
it is.
You know, just as powerful as my voice is, your voice is too. And when those women wrote that email, I talked to the director in person. And you know what she said? Lizzy, why would you have all those women email me? Instead of addressing the issue at hand that is truly devastating the Black community within this space, you coming at me on why did I get all these women to email you and blow up your inbox? Because it's too many emails. Mm-hmm. That's how I knew it was time for me to no longer share my services in that particular organization. But really, I'm saying that to say is there is power in white women speaking up, because the same thing happened at a festival where all the Black artists had a less than luxurious experience compared to the white artists on that stage. During my set, I spoke out against it. And the next day, all the white women took to the internet, calling the festival out, telling the world about how our lights went out on the stage. My set, the sound went out halfway through. One of the artists that was on stage, there was no security for our stuff, so somebody's bag was stolen. And this is one of the largest festivals in California that goes down. But they did not have respect for the Black artists. And I performed, I showed up, but I shared my truths. So everyone spoke out. A week of complaints. The organizer of that festival went on the gram live and apologized and requested a conversation with me to work on ways they can prevent that in the future. But you know what I did? Not a damn thing. You know why? Because 6 months before I got on that stage, I was already having a conversation. Breonna Taylor was just murdered in her bed. I was already telling him about the power of putting a Black woman as the headliner on a big stage and how that would totally transform and shift the culture of this festival scene. And the festival scene is huge because there's millions of festivals all over, but I mean specifically like California, West Coast, conscious music, that scene. And I said, you put me as the headline artist, you lead the way for all other festivals to start headlining Black women. Because right now the world is telling me I'm not even safe in my bed next to my man. I'm not even safe in my bedroom sleeping. So let's make a statement. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about ways we can create more space instead of putting all the Black artists on the diversity stage in the back with no lights and no sound. Let's talk about it. Oh, Lizzy, I would, but the other artists are already booked. All the white male artists on the main stage are already booked. They're already, I want to, you're right, but maybe for the future, it's nothing we can do. So then 6 months later, when I'm performing and I'm sharing my story, there's nothing you can do, bet. So I'm gonna let these white girls get in your ass about it. I'm never coming back to your festival. I don't want to talk to you. We've been talking for 6 months. You're not even paying half these artists what they asking for.
Right.
But all the white boys got their full rate in a popping stage, lit up, gorgeous, visuals in the back, security, a swinging bed in their backstage, a vibe. And so I say that as like you see the power of women using their voices coming together. I could say whatever I want to say and stand on it, no matter how strong or confident or like convicted I am in it. But it's something about the white girls coming together. And so it all, I don't know how we got on that.
No, but okay, because I love that you said it, because I was gonna say, because I giggle. The white girls love you. And I would always be like, how did this happen? And I know it naturally happened, but now it makes sense what you're saying more, because there's a whole alliance, Lizzy Jeff, White Girl Alliance. Like, I've had girls come to me crying, and it just so happened to be them. But at the same time, crying when they hear your music. Girls that already knew who you were when they would come to my classes and hear your music. And so I noticed that it was just such a large ratio of them.
It's large.
I'm so interested by that, because I'm like, how? But at the same time, it makes sense because you're so vocal.
Right.
Like Jungle Johanna was on our set too, like that, very vocal about giving us the space. And you take it deeper, of course, reparations, and speak about that. You are able to speak about that. And they hear you. And I've seen what has been given to you and the apologies that happen. And once again, you inspired me again and again. I won't, even though everything in me wants to call out this specific hotel, a very luxurious hotel in South Beach, did the same vibration to me. And I had to, this was my first time, because the inspiration of you let them know, sent them a beautiful, articulate, strong email of how it's obvious that you're not including diversity, but you want me to come. It's obvious that you're devaluing me, and this is why. It's obvious that you don't want me seen on your promotion, but you still want me to come. They're coming for me. And so I had to check them on that. And again, the inspiration went a little deeper, because I called my white friend.
You go, girl.
And I let her know, because I knew that she was connected to them. She sent an email, no response. Nevertheless, the whole inspiration behind it came from, like, the strength behind it came from that. Plus, I had just finished doing Voices of Sankofa. And so I was already on that vibration of like, yo, you guys, let's recognize what's happening here and let's call it out. Because of course, after that, it was like, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, no, that would never, I would make sure that you never feel like this again. But stop, we're just calling you out now, but that's the truth.
Because too many, if we let the shit slide, they're just going to do it to the next sister.
Yep.
I had to take some savages to court once because they tried to play with me. And I mean, that's one thing I don't like, is being played with. Now, if we playing kickball and we at the park, cool, let's play. But outside of that, especially when it comes to the guala, especially when it comes to a signed written agreement, and we have an agreement that you're supposed to pay me this amount, but then you act like a da-da-da-da, and you don't want to pay me for the services rendered, then I'm taking your ass to court.
Straight up.
And there's a myth that Black people don't sue. They was talking like, oh, da-da-da, you're going to have to pay for your own legal fees, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I went to court. I had my receipts. I was ready. I was suited and I was booted. And they looked whack as in their hoodies and their jeans with.
Not taking it seriously.
But
yeah.
you know what happened? Although I was in the system and the judge and them, they looked the same. I knew that justice would be served. And the court ruled in my favor. And they had to pay me what was owed. I wish I didn't have to do all that, but you know what? I'm thankful for it because it taught me how to advocate for myself in the system. We could use the system in our favor too.
Yes,
You
yes.
know what I mean? And even though it is messed up and raw and like weirdly oppressive, it's like we can advocate for ourselves. Because had I not, they would have just tried that bullshit with the next black woman.
Right.
So they paid me, and 3 months later, they was out of business.
Wow.
And it wasn't even that much. That's why I was like, why y'all tripping?
Yeah.
Just give me what was agreed upon. And this was like before I really was taxing for my fee.
It's because I know you care. I know.
Oh, thank you. I care. Thank you. But this was before I was really taxing. So I'm like, white girl, give me my money. But the court made them.
Yeah.
And so I don't have nothing to do with that. Karma is going to always represent. So that's just where I'm at. But it's like, if we're going to be in this thing together, then let's build. Let's talk about some real stuff. Let's really make real change, impact for the community. Let's talk about how to redistribute the wealth. A lot of my homies are like, Lizzy, I don't know how you do it. And I don't either. But if I know they're going to listen to me, if I know I'm going to go perform at Beloved Festival in Oregon. Shout out to Beloved. They don't do their festivals anymore. But I got off stage. Those people was in line for 4 hours waiting to give me gifts, to give me reparations, to give me fruit from the land that they know their ancestors stole, to offer 4 hours, okay? Signing CDs, tears. Some of them kneel to my feet in tears. It's crazy. But for me, it's like, all right, then, show me it's real then. Here's the assignment. This is how we're going to really make an impact if you really trying to make an impact. But I'm going to be over here in my community building with my people, you know? And then, so that's why I tax the way that I tax, so that I can turn around and invest it back into my community. Because that's what's important for me, you know? That's important for me, for Black women to thrive, Black women around me and men, all people to thrive. But I like to especially empower Black women, specifically in this space. And so that's where I'm at.
I noticed that you do that strong.
Thank you.
I noticed that even in just chilling, like just hanging out with you, it's like, this is not just going to be a hangout. There's always going to be some type of conversation that's elevating, or some type of like building and creating what's coming up next. Zen and Kush, I got to talk about Zen and Kush is you all the way. So I got to make sure I talk about Zen and Kush, because you're the only person that can get me in lingerie outside of the bedroom.
Outside of the bedroom, my man. He loves me. He loves me more. I
knew you were going to act like that.
Oh my God. Aphrodisiac.
You definitely get me in lingerie. It's still kind of covered though, but like it's
sexy though.
But you know, I always say we're a reflection of the events that we're doing. Higher Frequency was the event that I was doing for 11 years. And when I went to Zen and Kush, I was like, this is Higher Frequency in a very, you know, sensual, beautiful way, because like you come in there, no alcohol, you know, and that's my whole thing. Like, it's like, no, we're not doing the alcohol. It's going to be juices. And so when I came to you and it came to yours, and I saw that you were the same way, and I was like, this is rare. This is rare. All plant-based vendors. I'm like, this is rare, you know? And so I noticed that we reflect, and Zen and Kush just brought a whole different type of like opening up of me. Because it was like, you know, the pictures, it's kind of deceiving, because the pictures, it's like, this is going to be an erotic orgy, or, you know, and the nervousness that came over me the first time I was on my way to Zen and Kush.
Wow.
Yeah, I was nervous because, I don't wear
Oh,
lingerie.
what was
And
your
like,
first one? Oh, at the club.
yeah,
With the
yeah.
dancers.
I mean, there's always dancers.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then it's like you have them throwing dollars at the dancers, but you're throwing dollars as everybody. Let's shower them with abundance and, bring them more prosperity and give love to them and strength to them and, empower them with, value and, and I'm like, whoa, this is,
Wow, empower them with value.
this is amazing that you do it this way.
Thank you.
And so I appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
I love that. If you make me think of my song Bounce.
Mm.
But I like that you say I empower women with value because too, think about it, like a woman dancing in an erotic, sensual, beautiful, feminine way is like, to me, the most beautiful thing you can witness on planet Earth.
I agree.
It's she's active, her hips are a portal, her womb, she's like having sex, like making love to the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So she's literally, it's like active, harnessing this power. Make a wish. Honor that. Celebrate it. Let's throw rose petals and dollar bills because that abundance we're pouring into her. She's becoming more abundant, but in turn, I'm becoming more abundant. Yes. Anything you throw at the goddess, she's going to multiply it. So I'm throwing it while she throwing that ass. It's the code. That's what I'm saying. That's why everyone feels so good when they come to Zenny Kush. When they leave, they get calls. They close big deals. They get married.
Oh, that's the
they
abundance
sign
that
a
I'm
book
talking
deal.
about.
It's all kind of fly shit happening, and that's the whole point.
That's the abundance that I'm talking about. I've sent, because you've had a few in Miami. I've sent women on their own. Like if I can't make it, I've sent them on their own to open up.
That.
Yeah, the last one I sent one of my homegirls to kind of go through the same process that I went through. Beautiful and just, but opening up herself to this kind of movement and grace of like femininity that, we feel that we have, but you expose it in such a magical portal like way that it really enhances the spirit. I get enhanced every time you come around and do something. So yes.
Thank you. Ashe.
Can we talk about real quick, because you're about to be a whole sensual Pilates.
Oh, here we go. Yes.
Jungle Johanna, I interviewed her already. And so you're taking her certification. And I think that is dope.
Thank you.
I heard it from you and then I heard it from her. And both times I was just like, this is going to be so beautiful for her. This is going to be such an upgraded, because we're always evolving. You never stay in one place. And the evolution of you teaching Pilates in your way, the way you are, like the way this is. And so I imagine it sensual. I love you. I love you so much. So the way exactly, sensuality and expression and freedom, and you always make me bashful when you do stuff like that.
Oh, my bad.
No, always, but it's like a playful bashful, because I'm like, man, that's so beautiful that you do it in this elegance at the same time. So it's like it can happen.
Thank you.
Like
Fab.
You can actually do this elegant. You can actually do this in an empowering way, and that's what you show. That's what you show. I love you.
Wow, that is the most beautiful compliment.
I think you're gonna pour all of that into your Pilates classes. I think it's gonna be a whole like movement of flow and like magic and portal opening, just to free up some more, and the different twists and turns that you're gonna put us in. I say us because I'm taking your class.
Thank you for believing in me.
Yes.
This is something that's such a big challenge for me, and it's definitely been a challenge, but a juicy one, because it's mental, is physical for sure. And I played basketball, most of my life, and softball, and I was into the sports, and I was missing that so much, but it's like, I'm not about to be hooping, it's like, that was a time in my life, but how else can I like express that physical energy, and movement? And so I'm like, Pilates is perfect. I started my yoga journey And that has been really nice and helpful. And then I was like, okay, I'm ready to kind of elevate it physically. So I'm on a journey. And also I feel like it's helping me develop more confidence and just fluidity in my own body. Like, even though people are like, oh my God, you're a sex symbol, or oh my God, like I did my first boudoir shoot because of you, or you helped me unlock my pussy portal. I'm still figuring shit out every day. You know, I'm still working on my confidence. I'm still healing some of my insecurities. You know, there's still things that I'm overcoming. It's every day. It's an everyday journey. And part of that is me wanting to just be more confident in how I show up, but especially on stage. Like, you see me, I'm always surrounded by such beautiful women who are dancers, ballet dancers, African pole dancers, it all, belly,
the drummers,
all flavors and sizes. And so I'm like, I want to start giving more of that energy on stage too. So I'm like, well, what does Lizzy look like if she kind of dancing a little bit? She not about to be like, you feel me? But she's going to be on her own thing. But it's something. It's like I want to continue evolving in my artistry, not just my lyricism, not just the quality of my beats, not just the producers that I work with, but also like how I show up physically. And fitness, like, you know, it's a journey. I'm working on my posture. I'm working on becoming more toned. You know, and so it's like, fuck it, you got to put the work in. And always, even in this Pilates stuff, I went to your class today. I had no clue what I was doing. But your man, he was teaching the class. He was very patient, teaching me what I needed to know. You was right next to me doing it so perfectly with a beautiful, popping, perfect, prolific physique. So it was like perfect inspiration. I'm like, I have no clue what I'm doing, but I could tell that after I practice more and study more and just do it more, I'm gonna love it.
Of course.
And we all got to start somewhere, you know? We're not getting no younger. We're just getting sexier.
Exactly. So you saying how you see yourself moving on stage and how you would look, this makes sense. You decided to do stretches and do it in various ways that will really inspire a lot of women. Like, I see you. I'm excited. I'm excited. And then you revealed to me that I'm your first booking because I already booked you. I know you didn't get the certification yet.
Okay, you telling people. Okay,
I already booked
official.
You. It's official.
Yes, Fab booked me to teach my first Pilates class at her studio.
Yes.
Soon. This weekend is my exam, starting tomorrow, actually. For the next 3 days, I'm going to be in my final exams. And I'm just, you know, I believe in myself, but I believe in myself even more because Fab believes in me. And she sees the vision as well. And I have the best teacher I could ask for. Jungle Johanna, like, I mean, she's brilliant.
Brilliant.
Her mind is on another level. I like her
dedicated,
energy.
Yes.
She's just a real one. So I'm blessed. God is good. God is really touching my life right now. And of course, LA has been heavy on my heart. New Orleans has been on my heart. The world, the war, everything is heavy on my heart. I feel it all. But I'm very thankful that I can be in a place that restores me right now. So that when I get back, I can just show up, you know, charged up, ready to go, fully like powered up, strong, able to show up for my community in the way that I want to. And so, you know, I'm sending love. I'm just sending love.
You getting charged up here in Miami?
Absolutely.
You feeling it?
Yeah, for sure. You, the training.
Exoticas.
I know, Exoticas, Acai. I'm just my homegirl Amber from Pretty Tokers.
Yep.
Pretty high club, and I'm collaborating with Gas House.
Amazing.
In a couple days, and that's a pretty historical collaboration.
That's a big deal.
So I'm just happy. I'm proud of myself. I'm working through some things, but that's life. You know, we're gonna always be working through it because we human. But I also love just being able to acknowledge my blessings.
Yes, yes.
And acknowledge the people in my life who are just uplifting me and keeping me encouraged through it all.
Wow. Well deserved, sis.
Thank you.
And I'm seeing the evolution. I look forward to hearing more music, but I got some gifts for you.
Oh, for real? I
You know,
love
you're on
gifts.
replay. You're on replay. Did you notice that when you walked in the intro, there
I
was the
heard
music?
it.
Okay, I love that. Okay,
I
so I have
heard
some
it.
gifts for you.
Okay.
You know, and you deserve it. You deserve gifts.
I love gifts.
I know you get a lot of gifts, so I was very mindful, and I've been hanging with you. You know.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna keep going. In the meantime, I'm gonna start off. I gotta kind of walk over there real quick.
Okay.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you,
start off, of course, with exoticas. I was like, what's that juice that she gets? You know, so I'm like, he got the jar, everything, because I know you're specific with,
you.
you know,
Thank you.
glass jars.
I love it. Thank you.
So
yes, that looks
I
so
made
good.
sure.
Thank you.
Yes, that's important.
My medicine, my elixir, that's gorgeous. Little carrot, little orange, little ginger.
And all right, so again, I'm mindful of the gifts because you get so many gifts. I'm mindful, but this gift right here, you can fold up and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I'm giving you my eco-friendly
What?
yoga mat. It feels so good. You're gonna love it. So you deserve it. You deserve to be on your own mat when you're doing your. And this one is eco-friendly because you know how we are. So eco-friendly materials. Yes.
Fab, I needed a mat.
I love you. It's strong. It's gonna last you forever because it's strong, thick. I love that you love this. I was worried because I was like, it's big.
I love it.
But you could fold it the way it is. You could
I needed this so much.
I love that.
Thank you.
I love that. I love that. Okay. Next I have this part right here.
Feels like my birthday.
I love this. So this part right here, so funny because, girl, I aspire. We were trying to dodge your question because you just met her, but this was already in the works. This was already happening.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the gift was already coming to you, but like, you know, you met her and then you set up your appointment and all this stuff is happening. And we're like back and forth on the phone, like, oh my God, you gotta saw her. Like you can't, you know? So you booked it already. Nevertheless, you know, it's complimentary.
Thank you.
And we're going to add sound healing to it and acupuncture to it. So
thank you, Fab. Oh my goodness. I'm going to cherish this eternally. Eternally.
Okay. I love that.
Thank you. A gift certificate to the Black-owned spa.
Wow. I love that. Thank you.
And that's a nice amount.
It is I know. 444.
I can't
That's the
wait
value.
to get that done. Thank you.
So I had vegan sushi rolls coming for you, and the chef, he set it up as brown rice vegan sushi rolls. Like, I'm so heartbroken. That was my favorite part. I specifically said that the phone is on silent. I need you to pay attention to the phone, and
I feel
that
you.
didn't happen.
But you are so sweet, Fab. And this is so much already. I feel like a multimillionaire right now.
I love you.
And one day I will enjoy those because I did go to this cafe the other day.
And you found some?
No,
because it was white. It was white rice, and like this one specifically.
So when it happens, I'll be so hungry and ready to eat it.
And even a bigger surprise, I had it for my crew as well because I didn't want to eat in front of you guys. So it was like the surprise for not just you, it was my crew. So who knows how much he got rid of and what that bill is going to be.
Dang.
So, I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry, Fab.
Dang.
I know how you feel.
Exoticas came.
Exoticas came and I am so happy and nourished.
I love you. So there's more though. So this came from Sacred Prayer. She calls herself Elemental Woman. And she created these candles. And there's also a book in there with a whole bunch of prayers in there. And that is something that I feel like you would have loved. Like I know we're into prayer, we're into meditation, we're into manifestations. Okay. So that is, you know, you see, you can pull it out because it's she kind of wrapped it up for you. That's the book that she wrapped it up in. And I have this paper because she sent me this voice note, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta have Lizzy hear it. She made the candles while she was listening to your music. She says it all right here. She made it on 111 during the portal. And she calls it Priestess Lizzy Sacred Prayer Candles. And so they're so specifically, especially made for you. I want you to enjoy.
Wow,
Khadijah.
Fab.
Yeah, those are
Fab. This is so good. Fab, you are so good at this. Wow, this is inspiration. All these other podcasts need to get their shit
You're
together.
so funny.
No, they do. This is beautiful, Fab. This is so intentional.
Very intentional.
Wow,
very
girl,
intentional.
you are really
You're gonna
that
get
girl.
those roles. So I'm gonna make
One
you would
day
love
it's gonna
them.
be perfect. Watch. Don't worry. Don't worry. It happens. It happens.
So and then so I got you these I love to gift my friends the feminine vibes, porcelain teacups. I don't know if you're gonna want to carry this with you, but we're gonna keep it. If anything, we could keep it at Exotica's because that's our spot. And he'll serve us tea in these beautiful. You're gonna love them. Beautiful porcelain glass teacups.
Those are absolutely magnificently beautiful. Thank you so much, Fab. I can't wait to open it.
Yes.
Fab.
Beautiful. I forgot how beautiful that
Fab. You've really, truly outdone yourself.
I love you. And one more. Well, kind of one more. So
she's outdone herself.
Perfect Tree. Another one that
Perfect Tree.
Another one that I was like trying to have to stall because you started talking about him this morning, and I'm like, oh my goodness. You're just calling out all the sponsors, Jade, Divine Nectar, with the ginger, you know what I mean? You're meeting everybody all within the week that I was going to gift you with them because, I have a holistic company. I mean, a holistic directory coming soon. So I call all the holistic companies, send them, hey, Lizzy Jeff is about to, and then the gifts come. But I was specific. I didn't go too crazy because I know you have so many gifts and I know.
Thank you. You didn't go too crazy. Fab. Okay, so this is Perfect Tree.
Yep. There's you can open it. So Perfect Tree. Yep. All the flower elixirs that you deserve.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What?
I love that.
This is so cool. Shout out to Perfect Tree. Oh my goodness. I hope they pull up to the event on Monday.
I mean, I'm sure. I'm gonna let him know.
Wow, this is such a cute box.
Yes, and I made sure that it was specific to flowers, the flowers that you like. There's a grinder in there from Perfect Tree because I know you do it old school.
I do. Yeah. But thank you.
I love you. So
thank you, Fab.
Yes. And then
oh my goodness.
You're so funny. Sax comes with it.
Oh my goodness. Yes. With the rose in his mouth.
We had to give her 24 roses.
This is beautiful.
Yep. Wait, these are the 24, right? To make sure they're all together. Okay,
this
perfect.
Is it.
Yep.
Thank
and then
y'all.
These count with it. So
oh my goodness,
22
y'all.
and then 24.
Y'all have really done it big up in here. This is beautiful.
You deserve it. You deserve it, girl. I love you. I love you.
Wow, Fab. I already had you down as the top, but you done topped yourself. These are beautiful. You're beautiful. This set is beautiful. Your team, beautiful. Island Boy Mario, beautiful. The juice, the questions, the conversation. This is love.
Gifting.
This is love. Yes. And I'm God is so good for blessing me with you.
Same. I feel the same about you. You have definitely inspired me in so many ways. And before we seal up, one of my favorite parts about you is how you introduce me or how you kind of describe me because there's so many things that I do, so many things, family. I got all this going on, but can we seal up with you telling the people what I do? Because the way you say it,
I would love to. Absolutely.
Sure.
Okay. I would love to. First and foremost, Can I just start by giving you a rose, giving you your flowers, because you are truly iconic and very inspirational. And I could write a book about you if I wanted to. But Fab, aka Go Green Fashionista, aka Mrs. Megalit, Miss Megalit, aka community leader. I love you. I appreciate you. You're amazing. You show up for people.
Thanks.
You're so intentional, and I love how people like get so happy when they hear your name. Like whenever your name comes up, it just elevates the energy in the space. And I love that because you're really real, you're really authentic. People really have a reverence for you, and so do I. And I feel so blessed, just as blessed as you are to have me. I feel the same way. So thank you. And your style, impeccable.
Thanks.
Your body, your physique, your beauty, oh my goodness, is unmatched. It's like, and then when I saw you in class today, I was like, oh, okay. I get it. I see, like,
The real work.
yeah, you really putting that work in. And I love that because you're not afraid to do it. You're not afraid to advocate for yourself or your community. And that's love, Fab. I love this interview. I watched some of your other ones, and you know what you're doing, Fab.
Thanks.
Yeah, and you're a really dope leader.
Thank you.
And you just care so much. That's the thing. You got a big, beautiful heart, and you really care. So I'm blessed. Whenever you need me for anything, I'm pulling up. It's always a go, forever and always.
I love you.
Always.
Good, thanks.
Fab.
Lizzy Jeff.
Fabian. Thank you. Yeah, so y'all make sure y'all keep up with Go Green Fashionista. Support what she got going. Pull up on her at Megalit. Book her class. Book a private sound bath. Make sure you got that check. You know, support, pour into her, pour into what she's doing. And that's important. And I'll close it out on that because, of course, you're beautiful. Of course, you have a good heart. Of course, you're fly and you have all these dope friends. But it's important for us to remember how much space you hold for so many people on a daily basis. So we got to continue to pour into you. You know, we got to continue to support what you got going. And so I'm excited for what we have next. Music, more events, more stuff here in Miami's and in Kush is coming soon. Pilates in Legree, the sound bath. I'm here for all the collabs. I love you, girl.
I love you.
Yeah,
See,
thank you.
You say it all. You say everything I do. That's what I love. When
I feel like I didn't even get half of it.
You said it.
My medicine woman.
Good things. Yep. I honor you. I respect you. Reflection like no other. I love to say that I'm a reflection of you. That's something very powerful because you're a powerful being. And so,
wow, thank you. Fab.
I'm so happy you exist. Give thanks. Until next time, family. Higher frequency, peace, give thanks. Yes.
See y'all at Zen and Kush.